Oh, well, hello, all my wonderful bruskers and bruskers of the Dark Shadow Maverick Nation. I am the Dark Shadow Maverick, and this is indeed part 3 of GameTale. Now, in part 2, basically, everything that needed to be solved was indeed solved. Or at least, I'm pretty sure everything that needed to be solved was solved. And, well, now GameTale Sans and Mint Sans, they be living in the same house. They be chill, Netflix and chill mode. And Undyne, would just have mutual, accepting that he exists for blood. Not really blood. Game shit. Now I'm messing up on that character's name. What's gonna friggin' happen next? Jesus Christ. Christ almighty, Christ in a bite. Lordy, lordy. I'm turning forty. Never mind. Anyways, you know, everybody just got into their mutualismnists, doing their things. And, Game being pardoned of all his crimes, you know, makes things a little bit easier for him. And about the whole thing about, curse, mark, possibility, you know, Mint, as like one of her first things on the job, she would actually want to request a job, a sort of like investigation on like the curse, like seal thing that, Game has on him. That kind of gives him this handshake power. And, Undyne would be like, oh, so you want to study up on this special curse mark sealing power. Curse mark of sealing power. Yes, that's what I'm gonna call it, curse mark of sealing. And, well, yeah, that's gonna be something. And as for how successful they are on their little mission, well, you know, not. Turns out the person who did the whole curse mark sealing thing to Game, they are long dead. And since they're long dead, basically the trail of anything that they could have used to, like, either reverse the effects or just negate them altogether, like, get rid of it, that's all lost cause now. Because, like, it's pretty much a dead trail. There's nothing. And, well, that's something of a downer. But then Game is basically just like, Mint, mint, mint. Don't worry about it. You be like, me be making you better, making me better, And Mint is like, what do you mean? And, Game is just like, I may not be able to permanently get rid of it, but as, terms of the effects of the cursed mark of sealing, well, it's more or less the five-fingered curse mark of sealing. And, well, the five-fingered palm curse mark of sealing. If the one given this mark has more control over the mark than the mark does them, they will basically have the ability to self negate this curse mark of seal. And Mint is like, wait, control? And Game is like, yeah, so I've been working on my control. And so, you want to try it out, old friend, old pal? And Undyne would just be like, she'd just be like, oh, I can just tell, I can just sense it. But Mint is like, sure, why not? And it'd be like, and just all of a sudden, nothing changed. Yes, Game is actually able to negate the effects of the five-fingered one palm curse mark of sealing. He's actually using his own control able to negate the effects. So much that it's as if it never actually happened. So, yeah. Mint is, well, just glad that they made a breakthrough for, their friend. And, well, the more that she thinks about it, these are kind of feelings that she would like to, think about talking with Game about. When everyone else is gone, they finally get some alone time, and Mint is just like, well, Game, now that we're alone, I would actually like to talk to you about something. And Game's like, well, hey, what the hell? What a freaking wink-a-dink. I wanted to talk to you about something too. And then they both at the same time just basically admit it that they want to talk to each other about their feelings for each other. You know, they actually, they're not going to hold anything back on this. They actually reveal that they indeed, not they indeed, not that freaking, that they indeed do love each other. And, well, Mint, being her usual self, is all bubbly about this, and Game has to kind of bring her down back to earth and be like, you know, like, we gotta think about this at a realistic level. Like, on a realistic level. But then, about the time, that they're starting to realize their feelings for each other, something happens that kind of halts that completely, if not does the exact opposite. In fact, it might actually have completely realized it. And that is basically Mint being like, oh my god, Game, is that a human? And Game would be like, oh shit, that is a human. And the human, they don't really know the human's name. They just be like, the human would just be like, sup, it's nice meeting you. Wanna be friends? And Game would just be like, I don't know, this does seem kind of weird. Shouldn't we actually trying to be like capturing human? And well, Mint would just be like, oh, but they're so adorable. And, you know, Game would just be like, Well, fine. We won't kill them. However, that does not mean we will not provide challenges. And Vanilla's like, you mean like a game? And Game is like, well, my name is Game Sans. What do you think I'd be up for doing? That is, if we can't kill the human, we can show them up with our puzzle prowess. And Mint is like, puzzle prowess? Oh, weird. This, like, you are so on. And Game was like, I don't know, I'm not sure about that. Like, puzzle prowess. And like, events would go on as per usual. And eventually, the human, like, everything would go on, and, the barrier would eventually be destroyed. And the human, they would eventually find out that their name is Frisk. And that, the human decided that they would be the ambassadors for the monsters. And, Game and Vent, like, Game and Mint are actually, really happy about that because, it means that they get to spend more time with each other. And, like, they're so happy about it that they actually kind of, like, let it set in, like, so much that they actually kind of, like, become a super couple. And, like, they get their own house, like, an actual house where they have, like, the same room. And, like, basically, like, a complete and total redecoration of everything. And, like, basically everything is, like, rearranged now, like, to fit, like Vanilla never thought that this kind of thing would happen to her, so she never was, like, in the mindset of, this. So, yeah. Now she is sort of in the mindset. And, things are gonna happen. But one thing that, Mint is kind of adamant about, just mentioning one night, Game's strings whenever he, gets serious. Like, complete and total, like, destruct mode serious. Like, cause, like, by now, Mint's seen, like, Game whenever he's in destruct mode. That's whenever the strings are gonna come out. That's, like, the only time whenever he uses the strings. Or is about to. Whenever he's in destruct mode. Like, rather it be for him or someone else. Like, whenever he's in destruct mode, that's the only time that the strings really ever come out. And so, Mint basically has this whole thing planned out, like this talk about, like, if they ever do end up having kids, like, what are they going to do about the strings? Because a thing about, like, Mint Sans, her blasters aren't actually blasters. They're blades. Like, the energy that would usually be used for a Gaster Blaster blast is actually in the form of a blade that's, like, created. Kind of like a lightsaber. And they're green. And so, like, if they don't inherit that power, like, they're probably going to inherit something more natural than something that would be like the curse mark, not as natural. So they would probably inherit the strings if they didn't inherit like the gaster blade things. And so like what would they do if that happened? And Game would just be like the face he would make, it would be a face that would like mint she would kind of feel bad for asking because of the face that, Game would make. A face of, just generally being uncomfortable as hell. Like like he was hit with a question that he was not ready for at all. And also a question that he never wanted to have to answer for whatever reason. Like he was just not in the mood for answering that type of question for whatever reason. And so eventually they do end up having a kid, but you know, around the time of like, you know, Game insists like their little skelebones, their little baby bones, like he insists that, you know, it should be a time that, you know, vanilla is more not vanilla, shit. Mint is more relaxed and not as like stressed from just giving birth to the thing. And so basically the child isn't given a name until like later on. And so, finally whenever they're all at the house and, there's just like this moment in which like Game is just, you know, it's like it's Mint's turn to hold the baby, and you know the baby's hungry, so Game decides to be the man of the house again, and make food. Like a special formula for the baby, and be the man of the house and make the food, make the baby formula. Mm, get it to drink. Some milk, and uh, but whatever, whenever Game goes, to feed the baby, he walks in at on a very terrifying scene. A scene strings coming out of the baby's fingertips, and the baby is has like black bones. Like most of his bones are black because the baby is male. Most of his bones are black, but some of them on the inside are red, and then there are some little pieces that are like gold. And like coming out of the fingertips of the baby are blue strings, and they're literally tearing through the bandages, like from Mint's injury, like tearing straight through the clothing, tearing straight through the bandages, straight into the soul, and they are squeezing the life out of her. Like, she just went for 1 second to try to put, like, like the baby in like its little booster seat because she was like going to do something, and like straight as she was about to move, like this might have like scared the baby because automatically it went on like destruct mode itself. It went on destruct mode because that's basically what they know the whole string thing as, like a destruct mode thing. And so it kind of went on destruct mode itself whenever Mint like kind of moved to try to like put the little baby back in its like little seat. And just the strings are so tight around Mint's soul, but Mint is like hugging the baby like really tight. Like the tighter the strings go around Mint's soul, the tighter she's hugging. And, Game just rips the baby away and like uses his own strings to get the baby strings off of Mint's soul, and is like just grabs the phone and is like 911, 911, and just like gotta do something about this. And so basically, what he does is he realizes this kid isn't even a year old, and they already know how to go into their like destruct mode. Even he calls it that because he doesn't really know like anything else to call it. Like whenever he has the strings out, he just calls it the destruct mode. That's what everyone calls it. And so basically, the kid's not even a year old, and they're able to use the destruct mode. And so basically, like, you know, Game's freaking out, and, he's just like, he just sees, you know, like, he has the basket, he has the baby, he puts the baby in the basket, and, there's the little thing to, like, mm, handle, like, little handle to, like, allow you to carry the little basket, and he just has the handle and puts it over like a really sturdy branch of a tree, and he leaves like a note that's sh- like stuck really well and good to like one of the strings that's left over. And so that note ain't going anywhere unless you purposely try to pry it off. And that's why he attached it to the string that was like coming out of their little kid's fingers. And the note is basically just like, please, please take care of this kid. We can't take care of them. They're too much. Please, they need someone who's capable of taking care of them. We can't do it. It's too much. We just can't do it. That's basically the message he leaves. Like there's just this kid already knows how to go into the destruct mode. Like he doesn't mention the destruct mode, but what he mentions is like that the kid is like something about them just too much. It can't be done. They're not equipped to parent a kid like that. The one that Game basically, you know, just leaves out there. Like he's blanketed and everything, like he's good and warm, but he's still left out there, you know, just left out there in the middle of God knows what freaking, you know, season. And eventually, like in the dead of winter, like someone coming across, you know, they're a sans themselves that they're very well known for not only the fact that they kind of have the trident of their Asgore, and they're also very well known that they are ridiculously strong, and the people only know this person, this Sans, by the name Omegavelia. And since he's a Sans, that would make him Omegavelia Sans. And Omegavelia Sans just goes up and he sees, this thing, and there's like a strong, like really strong string, and so he has to tug at like the little note, and he sees the note and everything that's written on it, and it's like, wait, there's a kid that's the sounds I'm hearing. He's just hearing like whining and whimpering, and he's just like, oh, why do I have to care? I never cared before. Why? Why? I don't know why. Why the hell do I even have a conscience? I've never used it for anything good before. So, why? Why care now? So many things not explained to me that I would really like to know the answers to. So many things. But I guess that makes two of us then. You just here all by yourself. The letter, the little note thing, said they didn't have what it took to take care of you. You have some sort of special power that makes you dangerous to others. That's right. Really is true. Both of us were the same. You and me both. Kid, doesn't look like you have a name. That's right. If you don't have a name, that means you and me are gonna stick together. I can't just be keeping on calling you kid. That's disgraceful for someone going to be on my side, going to be with me. Him to have such disgrace. I won't allow it. So you, kid, your name. Well, it's definitely no stranger that whatever's going on with your hands, it seems it's been going on with your hands for so long that you've actually started to develop access power from it. You've gotten so strong that you got a new power from becoming strong? Kid, you're more and more like me. More and more we actually get to know each other. These things inside your eyes and all around you. Errors. That's what I'm looking at. At least, that's what it spells. Error. Error, 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 error. How many errors am I looking at here? Not actual ones, but the word error. And there's a lot in your eyes. Better clean that up. I don't want people looking at you with disrespect. Then I'll have to kill them. Oh God, why do I have to care? about little munchkins like you. That's right, you're probably either hungry or you shit yourself. Or both. That could also be a possibility. Or the possibility that you've also pissed yourself. And all of those could be possibilities at once. Oh, what a wonderful world we live in. Kid, you won't have to worry. As long as you're with me, no one, and I mean no one, is ever gonna be able to touch you. You and me will be best buds. No, we'll be more than that. We'll be brothers. Right, little bro? Like you can actually answer me back. Even as long as you've probably been living out here, you still seem way too young to actually be able to talk back to me. That just means I'll have a lot of parenting to do. Uh, a lot of being the big brother to do. With all the errors stuck in your face that I had to clean up, that definitely does give me an idea. You and me both seems to be Sanses, so why not Air Sans? And then the Sans known as Omegavilia Sans would see a large smile appear on the Sans he had just given the name Error Sans. And Omegavilia would just be like, "Oh, so you like it? Good. Then it's settled. Your error, I'm Omegavilia. And we, the two of us, are brothers. You and me against the world, kid. You and me against the world." Anyways, I think that'll be it for this part. Alan Zunidelsis Construction America is OUT out of here. Yeah, boys. Bye. Like, favorite, subscribe. Ring that little notification bell. And please comment if you feel like it wouldn't be too much for you. Anyways, bye.